Okay, so next we have a talk from Brando and Thibaut about testing Android. They're both from Fullscreen Inc. It's an LA-based company, and
Hi everyone. I'm Brando. I'm the QA lead at Fullscreen. This is Thibaut. He's a lead Android developer, and tonight we're going to talk to you about testing Android applications. So before we jump into this, a little bit about Fullscreen. We are a multi-channel network on YouTube. We are one of the largest networks on YouTube. We have over 60,000 channels in our network currently. That has over 4 billion monthly views and over 600 million subscribers. We have offices all over the country, but we are headquartered here in LA. And we provide a variety of websites, services, apps to help the people that are in our network create videos, get more views, generate more ad revenue. Part of that is we have mobile apps for iOS and Android.
All right. So who is an Android developer here? And who is adding unit tests in their code? So hopefully by the end of the talk you guys know what to do. So here's the agenda. First, why adding unit tests. Second, we're going to go through all the types of unit tests, and then what to do from a developer point of view and from the QA side. So why adding tests? Well, first you gotta make sure that what you're building is actually working. And every time you add a new feature, you want to make sure you don't break what you built. And also when you refactor, you want to make sure that everything is working. And I'm sure some of you work on someone's code without any comments or not sure what to do, and then you have to modify it, and then you're like, oops, I don't know when you're going to break. So adding tests prevent such kind of situation. And also, when you ship apps for customers, then they will be happy to know that your code is covered, tested.
Alright, so the different types of tests. We have unit tests. That is going to test the smallest amount of code possible. So you're trying to really narrow it down. If you're testing part of code that touches a server, you're going to fake that because you don't really care about server communication. You really just want to see if your code does what it's supposed to do. Then we have UI tests. That's the the visual aspect, the user-facing part. This is mainly checking an application that all the text boxes are in the right way, all the buttons are in the right spot, everything looks right. Functional tests. Now we're going to test the actual functionality of the app. So let's make sure that the password change works or that login works. Integration test. This is where we test how everything integrates together. All those functions that we just tested, how do they work together? How does the app navigation work? Moving from one activity to another, how does that work? This is also where we will test the integration between the app and the server, so making sure that it talks back and forth to the backend properly. Then we have stress testing, which is just beating the hell out of the app, making sure that it doesn't crash or do anything weird. All this testing can be done manually or automated. Manually, you're going to have a person actually sitting there with a device, actually tapping it with their fingers, going through these different test scenarios, trying to make sure everything works. Automated is done through code or scripts that will test the app for you. One of the main principles with software development is TDD, test-driven development. Briefly, that is basically just making sure that every block of code has a test to go with it. In pure TDD, you'd actually write the test ahead of time and then write the code to make those tests pass. Another aspect when you're talking about testing and TDD is, should we test everything? Obviously, yes, we'd like to. In an ideal world, we would. But you know, the real world doesn't work that way. Depending on how complex your app is, it might be gigantic. That might not be feasible to test every last thing. So you gotta, part of it is figuring out where the risk factors are. What is most likely to break or have the most problems? That's where you wanna focus your testing on. And these, some of these practices that we're gonna talk about can help you with this sort of thing, like for instance, automation. Automation can run in the background or, you know, when you're sleeping or something.